It's Getyourrockout here at Hammerfest 2012 with Sunset. How are you doing?
I'm doing well, thank you.
Are you utterly exhausted having just come off stage?
No. It was quite a short set for what we do, so I'm not exhausted. I was a little bit disorientated afterwards because I felt like the frontal lobes had been crushed against the inner wall of my skull. And no, I feel very good, thank you.
Wonderful. And how did you find the show? Were you happy with the crowd?
Very good. I mean, the thing is, when it's a really kind of pure metal festival, sometimes you don't know what to expect because we're not a pure metal thing. We have metal DNA. We have a lot of thrash and heaviness in what we do, but it's not a classic heavy metal band. But then we always seem to be pleasantly surprised. I was really pleased with the reception.
And obviously you guys have done a fair bit of touring, loads of festivals. Have you got a favourite?
Favourite what?
Festival or touring? Which do you prefer?
I did like Download, I have to say. Download was great. Really good.
It's amazing.
Early Glastonbury was good, a long time ago when it was still, before they started having joke artists and then it became a pop festival. It used to be a rock festival. I first went there in 1986 when I was a kid, basically. I was a child, and it really was an edgy place, just bikers and lots of acid and hippies, and it slowly became a part of the circuit, like Glyndebourne or whatever you call it, and Wimbledon. It's the same type of people with white wine and coolers. So, but at one point that was a very exciting festival. Touring's great. I like doing small, independent promoters, sweaty venues. It's great. I don't. For some reason, I have an infinite patience for the punk rock dressing room.
I mean, you've kind of toured pretty much relentlessly, really, at times.
No, we've slowed down. We've slowed down a lot. We're not doing the same pace as we used to. When we do it, we do solid tours, but we don't. We certainly aren't touring relentlessly now.
How do you find spending so much time on the road, though? I mean, do you still enjoy it as much as you ever did?
I like touring. I enjoy it. It's the way. If I could do it more, I would. I have no aversion to it. I love playing to different people every night. I'm not so big into really big venues, big boxy venues, that kind of stadium thing, like indoor stadium. If it gets too big and boxy, I kind of switch off a bit. I can't see everybody, but to a certain level, to a certain size, I really enjoy it.
What do you miss most about home when you're on the road?
What do I miss most about home? Bed, sleeping next to the person I love.
Proper beds as well. I mean, that's there's just nothing
real
quite
beds.
like your own.
No, my own bed. Yeah.
And we did spot a bit of filming going on at the Manchester gig.
Yeah.
Can we expect a live thing anytime soon?
I'm not sure that's going to happen. Actually, there's been a problem with that. Yeah, it's kind of sad, but well, it depends if we could get hold of the footage. But there's been that particular thing. I know it was really good. I was really excited about that because it was a proper documentary that was, but it's sort of fallen through, unfortunately. I know. I'm really sad. Yeah, it's a personal thing. Let's put it that way.
That's just ridiculous. It's always so irritating when that happens.
Yeah.
It's not good. I mean, do you reckon, if it does fall through completely, you'll try that again in the near future?
It's a big project. It's a big thing to try and get a sort of definitive documentary of what you've done. So, yeah, we'll see. We've got to get all the footage back and figure it out.
Well, good luck with that.
Thanks.
I mean, it's kind of clear, watching the audience participation, that, your new material is just as well loved as the old. I mean, how have you kind of kept that going?
I don't know. We're very lucky that people are, they're not just going, no, play your old ones. My friend was at a Sepultura gig a couple of years ago, and they they played Refuse, Resist, and songs from Chaos AD, and then they started playing their new songs, and there was like a silence, and the guy at the back just went, "Down with that," and I just think that would drive me nuts. We're really lucky that people are open-minded and that they're, we're just doing what we do at the time. It's always changing. I don't want to do the same thing again. I don't want to make the same record again. It has to keep changing. You're in a new place every time you make a record. You're speaking from a new position. You're playing in a different way. You don't want to make the same thing twice. So the fact that people are into that, it's a luxury.
And any clues as to kind of what we might be able to expect musically from the next album?
Well, all I can sort of say about it is that we're going to try and do something a little bit more stripped down. We're already doing it. We're not doing that many shows this year because we want to try and record, and so far it's sounding just a bit more stripped down, which I think we were doing a lot of layers, which is great. It's a great path to go down, but just want to strip it back a little bit. So that's all I can say about it. Other than that, it's going to be a new Sensor record with new ideas and new direction.
Do you have any idea when we might be able to hear it yet?
I don't want to put a date on that. We're going to probably spend most of this year doing it, I imagine.
And like you say, you're not going to be doing much touring. I mean, where can we expect to catch you at all, like for the rest of the year?
We're probably just going to do a few things in Europe. We're not going to be doing much in England this year. As far as we're not. We just want to work on a record. We just want to get it done. And the thing is, we're older now. We have our own. Everyone has responsibilities and different lives. We don't want to compromise our music, but at the same, so we want to take our time and do it right.
Like obviously, kind of since you guys started, there's been a massive shift in the music industry, and obviously with, being able to download songs and all the online stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, do you think it's changed for the better or the worse?
That's a good question. I don't really. It depends, I think for young bands, for fresh bands, if they have, in a way, it's the same as it's ever been. If you've got something fresh, the system that's there, the tools that are there will serve you. For example, someone like Metallica were pissing and moaning about it because they weren't getting in. They were thinking, we're going to lose money. But they didn't really need the money. They had the money. They already had money. And you couldn't do anything to take away their money. You might be able to, they might sell less copies of their record, but who cares? You've got the money. How much money do you need? And on the other hand, something like Death Grips, which is this New York hip-hop thing, which is like the most exciting hip-hop thing I've heard for the last probably 7 years. They just gave away their first album on the internet. And because it's amazing, it's just caught on, and now they're playing all the big festivals, and they're an amazing prospect, So if what you're doing is good, the tools can serve you. I think it's good for young or newer bands. I think it's good. It's an incredible tool. It's an incredible. But the downside of it is that, when MySpace finally became just bands, there were 6 million bands on MySpace. 6 million bands. So at some point it becomes like an ocean, and you stop taking notice of it. Facebook is becoming like that. It's becoming just people inviting you to shows, and 99% of what I get invited to, I'm not in that country. I can't attend. I can't. You've just invited everybody. And so after a while, it's just people get pushed and shepherded from one forum to the next, from one tool to the next. So I don't know. There's really positive aspects to it and really, banal aspects to it.
I mean, have you kind of, like you guys, have you seen more of like an up-and-coming and a younger audience since the kind of start of all of that?
Yeah, definitely. That's one good thit's about it is that, younger people can just access it and get to it. And and we see younger people coming to see us, so it's great.
I can imagine. And like looking back on everything, is there one song that you're proudest of?
That's a hard one. One of our songs the song that I'm really proud of. What's one that I'm really proud of? It's usually like a bit in one song that's just like every now and again it's an incredible thing when you can actually get off on your own music. But it's usually bits of things. I really think the last album there's some parts in there that are just so transportive. There's a track called Hex on the last album that I really like. It's just so dark and mysterious and kind of elemental. It sounds elemental. It sounds like storms and it sounds electrical and really, but it's like got this kind of 60s English sound. It's got these samples from some old films, which is I like a kind of dark English psychedelia. Yeah, so that's the one. If I had to choose, that's one of the ones
Not
that
to
I
put you on the spot
Hex
or anything,
from the last album. But there's bits in all of them that I love. That we won't let anything pass onto an album that we're not really into. So it's really hard.
Are you still just as proud of all the older albums as you are of the newer ones?
Absolutely.
So you don't look back and think, I wish we'd done this different, we could have done this?
Oh, I mean, the first album is so old, it's like looking at your high school, the poems that you did in high school. Luckily, a lot of them stand up really, really well. There's a couple where you think, oh my God, I was so young. But, no, there's nothing, like on the first album, which is the old, anything before that is really, for me, really cringeworthy because I'm just trying to find, even through that first album, even right up to, about 10 years ago, I guess, I was trying to fully find my voice. And so there's bits where you're like, I would have done that differently maybe. But as they are, they're great. And once you let go of the thing, it's out in the world. It's someone else's property. It's the people that listen to it. You're going to play it differently when you play it. I don't really listen to my own music. I really don't sit and I don't think a lot of people sit and listen to their own songs. Once they've done them, they're out there.
I mean, do you ever kind of look at, everything that you've accomplished and think, I still can't quite believe how much we've done?
Oh, I think, we could have done more. We could do more. The thing is, it's just the nature of this band is it takes a long time.
Well, it's good that you're still wanting to do more and still think that's brilliant. It means we've got you for a good while, yeah.
If I was in this for the money, I would have been out a long time ago. If I was in this for the beans, I would have been out years ago, because doing your own uncompromising political psychedelic hip hop metal band is not the ticket to riches, but that's not why I'm into it, and that's none of us. Once you eliminate that pressure, we have to make our money out of this. We have to make it, which is what you kind of feel when you're young. It's like, we've got to do it. We've got to give this to everybody, and not for money. We never were trying. We just wanted to reach as many people as possible. But the fact that you don't have that financial pressure means that you just do what you want, and you could continue, or you can stop. And so you ask yourself, why are you continuing? Why do you want to do it? You're doing it because this is what you love, and this is what gives meaning to life. I think art is what gives meaning to life, and without sounding pretentious, this music is an art form. And it doesn't matter if you're like the Ramones. It's an art form. It doesn't matter if you're Lawnmower Death. It's art. And sometimes the more stupid and dumb it is, the better, because it's just honest and true, So I'm just happy that we can do what we want to do, and as long as we can do it the way we want to do it, we'll continue.
That's good to hear. Well, thank you so much for taking the time out to talk to us today. It's been an utter pleasure to talk to you, and we'll hopefully see you again very soon.
No problem.
Thank you.